Hello my lovelies, and welcome to Allotment of the Dead. So I don't know whether you guys remember back probably on one of the tours where I showed you kind of around the plot, and we came on the new build, and in the new build there was a load of pockets made out of felt hanging on the inside wall. I'll put a picture in the corner just to show you. I found that they dried out really quickly. My wife's going to give them a go this year, so I've passed those on to her. But it was like something you just bought as a fixed kind of big green felt thing that you kind of fill the pockets full of compost and planted into them. Now I found that they were drying out really quickly, and almost invariably when you don't get down for a couple of days, anything you've got planted in them didn't do very well. So I tried basil and all sorts in them just to try and see if they grow, but again I didn't get any luck. So what I'm doing this year is completely changing that particular wall. I'm still going to make it a growing space. I do like growing vertically, and I do like using whatever space I can. So what I've decided to do is put some rails in, and I've actually bought some things from Amazon, but I'm also making some little hanging pots to actually put up on this on these rails. Let me show you. Okay, so we'll go into the new build. So you can see these nice rails that I've put in. So these are the previous rails that were there, and this is where I hung the green felt contraption off. But what I've done is I've bought some of these nice pots here that hang off the rails, and you can buy these relatively cheaply. I got 20 for probably about 20 quid, I think, so about £1 each or so, from Amazon. And the good thing about these is they do come with a nice drainage hole in the bottom, but the other good thing about these, which is why I kind of chose these rather than some of the larger ones you can get, is that when you've got a nice, I think it's a 4-inch pot or so, they can just fit straight in. So there's no messing around. So you'll be able to water these as you would anything else. So when I come to put my things like basil and stuff like that in there, I can actually grow my herbs in these nice little pots and put them straight in. Job's a good one. Right, so the other thing I'm doing is I'm making some of these. So all of the water bottles that we get in, we've got a nice fridge that makes ice cubes and things. So we get through a lot of water. My daughter won't drink anything else but bottled water, so it's an ideal thing really to utilize the waste products of that, which is these bottles. And you get these quite large bottles that you can use to fill up the fridge and things. So what I've done is I've just chopped a nice space out of the bottle. The bottom of it is filled with compost. And then, so what I'll do is I'll plant some seeds into the compost. I don't know whether that's going to be flowers this year, or whether it's going to be nemesia, or whether it's going to be, it could be any number of things that you put in there. Your basil, your herbs, all of those sort of things can go in there. And what you need to do is make sure that when you make them, you put some nice holes in the lid. So each of these lids have got holes in. So when you put the water in, they'll drain through, but they'll drain through to the ones that are hanging underneath. And what I need to do really is try and put some holes in the top of these as well, so that they will collect the water and in effect carry on feeding and watering the ones below. So we'll see how that works, but I'll show you how we make these bottles. They're really simple. Okay, so we got a nice bottle here. I've already drilled some holes in the lid there, just using a little drill. You can use a heated skewer, and that will basically go through. You can do these at home basically. So you can use a heated skewer, and these will go through the holes really easily. Or sorry, go through the lids really easy. Good thing about these bottles is they seem to come with a nice delineated space, almost as if they've been earmarked for use for this. So we'll use that. So what we need to do is cut into the bottle, cut a nice square out. You don't want to go and have a massive square, just big enough that you know you can get access to it. This is probably going to sound hideous on the microphone, apologies. So we're left with a nice bottle, nice chunk of plastic. Unfortunately, I suppose you could use that for I don't know, labels or something. If you were to write on it, cut it into strips. I'm all for recycling. So the good thing, as I say, about these is it gives you this nice space here that you can actually put your compost. Nice space that you can get access to the plants and whatever else to harvest. Okay, the next thing we need to do is to put this up on the rail. So what we need for that is just a screw. But the thing about this using plastic is that in the hot weather, especially in something like this, which can probably get to about 40 degrees, the screws are going to get quite hot. So what we want to be doing is probably using one of the things we use for putting in these plastic polycarbonate sheets. So again, it protects the plastic from being burnt from the metal as it heats up. Using white as well is also, or silver is also good for dissipating some of that heat. So what we'll do is we'll put it on the rail to where we want it. So I'm just putting these side by side, and we need to get our nice drill. Okay, they come with a nice little popper over the top, and then you can fill up with some compost. So we won't fill it all the way to the top, we'll just fill it so we can add some seeds and then some more compost over the top. So yeah, should work quite well. Right. So your end result is a nice bottle hanging up on this nice rail. You want plenty of nails in just to make sure that the rail doesn't come off with the extra weight and things that you're putting on it. But we can do that no problem. So again, this nice little growing space here, it won't dry out as quickly as the little felt pockets. So ultimately, by the time this is finished and we've got a few more of these bottles up, we should have a nice green wall of herbs and various plants. You can put lettuces and other things like rocket and things like that in them. So we should get some nice plants growing from these. Right. So you don't always need to buy new. You can make things for yourself very, very easily from things you've just got lying around the house. Just a little bit of, I don't know, weird thinking. Also watching things like Pinterest, YouTube, all of those sort of things give you all sorts of ideas that you can use for yourself down the plot. So this hopefully should look really, really nice this year. So we'll see how it goes as time goes on. I'll be putting in various different plants and things into these hanging pots and also into the plastic ones I've made myself. So yeah, we should have some really, really interesting things going on at least in this new build. Say any area which is, I suppose, designated a dead space is kind of a wasted space sometimes. So having something like this will enable you to increase your growing space, even inside things like you would use maybe in your greenhouse or something like that. You can maybe put a rail up and do something similar. So yeah, my idea for this year, probably an idea that's been passed down from people to people, but I'm using it this year. So all the best, guys. Take care. Bye bye.